We're live. Holy smokes. PNL live. Eric Larkin joining me today. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule, Mr. Larkin. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good
Of
morning.
course. All right, dude. So, this is the time of the year, so to speak, where there's a lot like it feels like hurry up and wait, right? Like it feels like there was an amazing amount of wrestling going on at CKLV. And now we just got to wait until duels start again, right? So it's like, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. But CKLV was a pretty dope tournament, dude. Like it was a tremendous amount of upsets. If you want to look at it from like a grand, like 1,000-yard perspective, Stanford looked really, really good. Like those guys are fighting for Chris Ayers. Which is, for a first-year coach, that's all you can ask for is have your dogs fighting for you. But look, any big takeaways that you saw before we get into the nitty-gritty of the actual event?
No, not too many. One thing that I guess kind of stood out is just the teams looked a lot more solid than I was expecting, like from top to bottom.
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you like? So
I know there's good guys on each team.
Sure.
There's a handful of them, but like Iowa State had a really good team. I was impressed with them. Kind of looking at the scores here. Cornell had a good run. Oh yeah, Stanford took 7th. Yeah, all these teams were very impressive. They had a lot more depth than I thought.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because we're getting into the meat of December. We've had some data to look upon. There was a lot of upsets at this tournament.
Yeah.
And I think I could be crazy, but I think a good chunk of that has to do with a 3-point takedown.
Okay.
Have you had any? Well, I mean, have you had any thoughts at all on 3-point takedowns? Because jury's still kind of out, man. I still need a lot more data, but I just want your thoughts before we even move forward on it.
Well, it just changes your strategy. Like most of the tournaments that we've been competing in, because I'm a high school coach, we've been wrestling college opens. We've done 1 or 2 of them now. Was Super 32 3-point takedown?
3-point takedowns, but
yeah. And then who's number 1 was a 3-point takedown. So most of the events I've been to, 3-point takedowns, it kind of changes your strategy on choosing down a little bit. Not so much having to go get that escape every time, but if you want to go win the match, it's good to choose down. So you get the takedown. Now you're winning by so much. I don't know. It's like you said, the jury's out. I'm not really set on the game plan yet.
Yeah, and I think we'll settle into that as we get into January and February to really look at what it means. Now, shout out to Jake Hodges. I love Jake Hodges. I love the guys at UNI. Those guys are awesome. Those guys are as big wrestling nerds as I've ever come across. Jake Hodges and Taylor Lujan proposed this question to me. Okay, you ready for this? I have not thought of it.
Down.
You should write this down because I don't know the answer to this.
Write it down.
Maybe you do. You and I are tied, and we're going into overtime.
Okay.
The riding time is null, meaning nobody has any riding time. Okay. You take me down. This is a dual meet, by the way, not a tournament, let's say. Okay.
Okay.
You take me down to my back and hold me there for 1 minute and 1 second.
This is overtime.
Overtime. Okay. Do you get a major?
Yeah. If you win by 8 points, right?
I don't know. Does riding time continue? Well, I would assume.
Oh, so that's what I was counting in my head, the right time, because you pick up 7, right?
Right. So you pick up 7 for a feet to back.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. I'm so glad I got you too.
Immediately in my head.
Yeah.
Because you said a minute one
Yeah.
riding time. You hold him on his back for minute one. Yeah. So in my head, up by 8, you get the major.
Right.
I just did that without even really thinking about it. But now, okay.
I don't know either.
I would give the riding time.
Why would you not? Right. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Like, why would riding time cease to exist just because we know that you're allowed to keep him on his back to look for a fall, right?
Correct. Yep.
But do they start riding time once you get that takedown in overtime? I don't know.
That's a good one. Great question.
That is a good one because that's a major. Think about that. You can go into overtime and major him. That's kind of wild.
Big for even a tournament team points picking up a major. Yeah,
sure. But the one person that I've spoken to that is kind of adamant about like feelings on this 3-point takedown immediately was Dresser, and Dresser was like, it has immediate impacts on dual meets. It's so much easier to get major decisions and bonus points.
Yeah.
Like, it's like way easier, dude. So, there is that. Look, there's something to be said for more points on the board, even if they're just being awarded for the sake of being awarded, right? Because, the old adage is nobody in this country likes soccer because the score winds up being 3-1. Yeah. Well, really, football scores are, they're 21-7. It's the same thing. Like it's kind of the same thing, and we love some football. So I guess that I don't know. Again, the jury's still out. I'm thinking that I kind of like it. Lawrence was against it at first because he thought that it would induce more stalling. Because you don't have to go get one. Like, if you get a takedown in the first and ride out, you 3 points, you can run. You can run if you're up by 3. You can give up a stall call. Yeah. You can give up a stall call. You can run. I haven't seen that as much as he thought that we might.
I haven't either. Yeah,
but
I haven't seen a lot of like shutting down.
No, but the season is young and guys are still figuring out how to game the system, right? Like, so there's a good chance, you know. All right, let's move on to weight by weight at CKLV. 125, bud. I think we have to pay attention to Nico Provo. Like, this kid is for real. I mean, I know he took a gap year, so he improved there. I think,
I just saw highlights.
Yeah, but you didn't miss much.
Unger, right?
Yeah, he beat Unger, but like, he beat him in overtime. But I guess what we're saying is, like, 25 for so long has just been dominated by a very select few of people, and I don't know that that's the case this year, man. Like, who's ranked at the top of 125 right now?
Yeah, you gotta pull that up.
Nico Provo, Jacob Camacho, Richie Figueroa, Matt Ramos, Anthony Noto, Steve O'Poulin, Brett Unger, and Caleb Smith. You throw those 8 guys up in the air, and they come down in a different order every single time. I mean, think about it, right? Like, that's a pretty well-balanced group. Now, Nico Provo's number 1 right now in the country, but you can't see Richie Figueroa taking him out. I can. Like, that kid Figueroa is really good.
Richie beating him for sure. Yeah.
So it's like, but the point I guess I'm trying to make is that, we've been force fed the Spencer Lee show for 5 years now. And now we got 125 is a real bracket now. It should be pretty interesting.
It's kind of cool. It is. It's fun.
It's good. It's a better thing. I think, right? Like, it's good to have stars in our sport. There's no question. But, like, for, dorks like us who actually care about the wrestling, like, that's fun not to know who's going to win 125. And not that he won last year, but you get the point.
Yeah, it'd be fun not to know who's going to win the national title as a team every year, too.
That would be awesome. Do you remember when Kale was at Iowa State and Iowa was winning all those national titles, and he was like, "Parity is good for the sport." Is it, Kale? Is it? Is it? Are you sure, Kale?
No.
Are you 100%?
Yeah.
Because when the shoe's on the other
Not
foot, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
If parity's good for the sport, Kale, why don't you want a dual meet national championship? Ooh.
Exactly.
All right. 133. Any thoughts on that? I didn't see too much that I thought was crazy there.
That Frost kid was in the finals, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Evan Frost. I think he lost in the finals, though.
Yeah, he 12-4. Who? I haven't watched that NC State kid wrestle very much. How do you say his last name?
Kai Oreen. Yeah, Oreen.
Yeah, I didn't even watch him wrestle yet.
You know what's funny about NC State? Nobody watches them wrestle, but they always win.
Yeah, they're good.
They just win. They're. I mean, it's arguable they're 2-3 in the country right now. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really good. NC State's really good, and I bet you couldn't run down their lineup, and neither could I. Like, they're really, 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 really good, and Pat does such an incredible job. I know. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, they have
Hidley. I know that.
Yeah. Like, if you went top to bottom, could you name their whole lineup? I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I'd get
I
stuck
want to
at
now.
41,
I want to go look at their lineup now.
But that's the thing, right? Like, they have all American threats at every single weight class.
Oh yeah, Jack's there. Huh.
Right? Like Ryan Jack at 41.
Yeah.
That's 41, right?
Yeah, 41's Jack.
Yeah. So you got Camacho, Kyle Ryan Jack. All three of those, are legit, could be top 4, right? You start putting guys in top 4 at 4 or 5 different weight classes, you got a shot. You got a shot.
That's cool.
It's super cool. But again, they don't get the play that Iowa, Penn State, Oklahoma State does. Yeah. And I blame Flo for that. Okay. 141. Jesse Mendez has so much more pop in his legs at 141. He is a major, major problem.
Yeah, he controls every match, every position for the most part, what I've seen. Yeah, he just very explosive. It seems like he's able to change like the way he was finishing on one of the guys. Maybe I don't know who it was, but he wasn't securing the takedown right away, but he just made some adjustments on his finishes, and he was able to do that throughout that short period of time in the match. It was pretty cool to watch.
I know what you mean. That is a special gift to make adjustments mid-match without being even told to do it. Like, I don't know, maybe Tom Ryan did tell him to do it, but something tells me that I doubt it, because there's just so much going on, right? Like, there's just so much. You've been cornering those high-level events. Like, there's just so much going on. Have you ever trained a kid that was able to do that mid-match? I think I've had one.
Yeah. I mean, not consistently. You know what I mean? I've seen kids do it, but not consistently throughout all their matches or the matches that they needed to make mid-match adjustments. Sometimes it's just, I mean, I remember competing myself and trying to make adjustments, and they don't always happen, but sometimes I was able to do it.
Sure.
So I think it's hard to just be consistently able to do those mid-match adjustments. But
yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, doing it right. He seems like he's always able to do something like that.
He's a special kid, dude. He's a special kid. All right, 149. We got to talk about Shane Van Ness going out for the season, because without him in the mix, we're looking at what basically amounts to the national tournament at 149. It's a son of a gun, man. Yeah. Because here's the thing, right? Ridge Lovett I mean, I guess he's kind of separating himself, I guess. But if you don't think like Caleb, first of all, Caleb Hansen looks out of this world. He looks great.
Yes.
Parco, D'Amelio, Jackson Arrington, Chance Lamer, all those guys, Casey Swiderski, Voinovich wasn't there. But all those guys, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 were all in this bracket.
Wow.
And Ridge Lovett comes out on top. Now, that said, he's probably the most well-rounded wrestler in the group right now. But there's a lot of wrestling left to do in this season, man.
Yeah,
like,
going through all those names, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right there.
I think so. Right? Like, Parco's there, and he ends the season way better than he starts it traditionally. So he's right there. D'Amelio is a tough out. Jackson Arrington's a tough out. Chance Lamer down at 49 looks good. Yeah, I mean, 49 is another one of those. And we're not even talking about Jaden Abbas. So I don't know if he's able to compete anymore. But you go down to 17, Jordan Williams. That kid's really good at wrestling. And don't let him get his weight under control because he's a problem. That's the thing, right? Like, you see these guys, I don't know why, I love those guys in Stillwater. I really do. But I said it last week. Jordan Williams is a 57-pounder. Like, I can't remember.
I didn't know he was making 49 until you said that right now. I haven't even really paid close attention to that. Yeah, he's big.
He's a monster. Why they don't have a national champion threat at 57.
Who is it?
Their starter at 57?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you. I know it's not Wyatt anymore. I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
He's not in the rankings, I'm pretty sure. Let me find out for sure. But
57.
But that's does everyone kind of agree that why are we cutting the balls out of these kids? Yeah, he's not. Yeah. There's nobody in the rankings.
Okay, well, yeah, they should have him up at 57. He'd be doing better probably. You're right.
He had no legs, dude. This is like one of the most explosive kids in the country.
Yeah,
and he's got no legs. I can't remember the last time he wrestled under 150 pounds. Like, I literally can't remember. Like, he was probably a sophomore in high school.
Yeah,
not good. That's not good. All right, what else? 57. Shapiro got punched in the mouth. Oh, that's not.
He got so tired. He got so tired.
Yeah, maybe. I think he got punched.
Yeah, well, he got punched in the mouth. Yeah, but yeah, he usually over wrestles positions. I think that's why I say he gets tired. He over wrestles some positions. He's gonna learn as he goes through this career that he's gonna have to slow it down in some positions. I think that's why he got beat. Did he end up slipping? Did he end up slipping and losing another match too? He did,
DMP,
right?
DMP, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Oh."
Yeah. He got one too, huh? He got uppercut.
Now, that said, he looked out of this world against Sandonian.
Yeah, that was great. I saw
that. It was great. That was fun.
Yeah. But first loss. Who beat him on the bottom?
I don't even remember. I mean,
sorry.
No, don't be sorry. But keep the balls in the air and tell me what you saw from him.
I just think he over wrestles positions. Ones that he usually wins, but he was losing some positions that he was over wrestling, and you can only take so many of those.
What positions in your estimation? Because I have some thoughts on the positions, but
just the scrambling positions, like when he could just control hips to the mat or just secure holds. Mm-hmm. It's like he wants to be fancy. I don't know, just like too much. Like when he can just be.
No, I know what you mean.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he'd be a little more solid in some positions. Shoot, I mean, my kids will probably end up wrestling him. So I hope he stays like that. So because he's
Well,
good.
yeah.
I thought
No, he's really
going
good.
into this tournament, he was gonna win the national title at that weight class. Really
You know what's
good.
funny about that, bro? And he might. There's a good chance he does, right? Like his
He
57,
might.
you know, is kind of open. Like Levi Haynes is a very good wrestler. Please don't get me wrong, but you know, you look at that weight class last year, 157 pounds, and you're like, okay, well, you know, Austin O'Connor's good, and so is Levi Haynes, but Levi was a freshman. You know,
You cut out. What'd you say? Who's a freshman?
Levi was a freshman last year when he took
Oh,
second.
got it.
So. Yes. You know, it's a fairly wide open weight class. You know, I still think he can. So here's the funny thing: like we got on here, me and Jared last week, and I was like, you know, Meyer Shapiro is going to win the whole thing. He's going undefeated. He's going to get 4 national titles. like we were just giving this kid 4 Hodge trophies. I was a sucker. I was a sucker for it.
Yeah, well,
but the kid can wrestle. The kid can
wrestle
though, for sure.
He's fun to watch.
For sure. The one position that I saw that he way over wrestled was bottom, right? He would get to his feet.
Oh, yeah.
And then he would like turn back because he knows he's good on top. He knows he's good on top.
That was the big one for me too. Yeah.
So I was like, yo, why just get your one? But he didn't want to get his one. He wanted to get on top. You son of a bitch. You're trying to cheat. You're trying to cheat the system, bro. No, you got to wrestle on your feet. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, it was funny to watch him. Yeah, he got tired for sure. But then, like, you saw him trying to play makeup there, right? Like, he was, like, trying to reach back and get on top. Go, oh, I can get on top and get a fall. But, yeah, instead of, like, chipping away at takedowns. All right, let's move along here. 65. Isaac Olejnik. What are we thinking about him? Is he for real?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched a whole lot of them. Like I spend time like on the weekends when I'm not traveling, catching up on these matches. So I haven't spent a whole lot of time watching him. What have you seen of him? I mean, has he wrestled quite a season?
I mean, here's the thing, right? He's transfers from Northern Illinois, where he was an All-American, into Oklahoma State's room, where you have partners like Plot, coaches that are middle upper weights, you know, like Perry, that can coach him, that can wrestle him, that can give him extra, you know, tools in the toolbox. Yeah, I mean, he's ranked number 3 in the country, but here's the thing, right? Like, I don't think anybody's beaten Keegan O'Toole or David Carr this year, other than those two. I mean, I know Carr lost, right? But
he lost to Ramirez, right?
Yeah, but I don't know that that's whatever. But yeah, so Olejnik beats Ramirez there. I think it's the Keegan O'Toole, David Carr show come March.
I agree.
Right? I mean, you know, but Olejnik is obviously coming up, and he's obviously for real. So whatever.
Who did he beat in the semis? He beat Amin in the semis?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's another solid, right? Like, that's,
you
know, Amin's a really good wrestler. He's, you know, as solid as it comes. All right. 74. I have in my notes, this might be my least favorite weight class in the country.
I don't even know these names.
So, all right, that's shitty of me to say, but
okay. I don't know who this Devos is.
K Devos, yeah, he's pretty good. But
obviously,
again, it's like, South Dakota State.
Karchla,
Edmund Ruth, Gabe Arnold. Gabe Arnold in there is fun because he's a true freshman.
Is he going 74 this year or 84?
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But he's probably a 74 pounder. They have him in the rankings at 74. Adam Kent, Peyton Mako, Shane Griffith loses to
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Freshman from Stanford, which is just a whole ton of irony in there.
Yeah, that was cool seeing that picture.
Yeah. It's like, you like those blue singlets, do you? All right, good for you. Go take the bag, Shane. You said it, not me. Yeah, I mean, it's just my least favorite weight class. It's just like, nah. 84. Let's see, what do we got? I didn't have any notes on 84 and 97. Do you have anything there?
Let me just look through this again. Very similar to the 74-pound weight class for me.
Yeah. I think 84.
At least at this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. But even across the country, right? Like, man, if it's not, one of the things that I loved about the All-Star meet was that I'm a huge Parker Keckeisen fan. I really am. Like, I love that kid. Just like as a human being and as a wrestler. I loved watching him run down Bernie Truax in his home gym and catch a takedown late. So I think it's the Parker Keckeisen. Maybe you throw Trey Munoz in there. But Parker, Bernie.
He got caught early, right? And penned.
Munoz. He did.
Yeah, that's right.
But these are December problems that
exactly.
When you make a national title run in March, no one gives a shit about CKLV. It's fun to talk about now. But it's the truth. Like, no one asks what you did at but what do you do with CKLV? Who gives a shit, right? Yeah, and I guess 97 is kind of a fun weight class for the first time in a while between Aaron Brooks, Trent Hidley, Steve Buchanan wrestling for Oklahoma is an interesting thing. Yeah, there's some fun stuff at 97, but I think it's Aaron Brooks and Trent Hidley, which is awesome, right? Like, we saw it in 84, 97. They just inflated themselves. Like, they look huge. Both of them look huge at 97. Look, good Lord.
Who's the Buchanan kid you're talking about? I don't know.
So he wrestled at Wyoming. All-American there. I think he might have took third or fourth. Like, he pretty high place winner for Wyoming. Okay. And then he jumps in the portal, and he is in Oklahoma now. Yeah, I mean, he's a really solid positional wrestler on his feet, solid defense, really tough to score on, and he's a son of a bitch on top. Like, he's just clingy. You know how Frank Molinaro will trap that ankle to mat return you? Yeah. Like, he is just a son of a bitch with that. He's just he'll find a way to keep on mat returning 17 times in a period, and you're just like, get off of me. Yeah. Like one of those, you just want to elbow him right in the face. Yeah, but yeah, he's good. He's really, really good. Solid all around, and he's 5th year, 6th year senior, whatever it is. And but again, I just think it's Aaron Brooks, Trent Hidley. I can't see them not making finals.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, 285. Younger Batista is an absolute monster. But
God, you see him pick up that. I don't know who he picked up early. It was insane. Just like one-armed him.
Yeah. That's not normal.
Fun to watch.
Is what that's not a typical thing. One-arm lifts. So here's the thing, right? Kirkfleet beat up on Hendrickson in the All-Star. Younger Bastida's right there. Lucas Davison is below him. Colton Schultz is always a problem because he's just too big, right? Like, he's so good and he's so big.
Yeah, Younger's not going to be able to move him around like he did some of these other guys. But let me ask you this: is Schultz going to wrestle this year?
I don't know. I haven't seen. He hasn't been in the lineup once yet.
No.
But the kid from Rutgers who was at Harvard, Slavikowski, is a small heavyweight that's really technically sound, right? Like, he's really, really, his his position and his technique and his hand fighting is pretty darn good. He can get underneath people, and he's strong enough to kind of stay on a leg against a guy like, Lucas Davison, Colton Schultz, Zach Elam, who are big, big, big heavyweights. He's strong enough to stay on those legs. I just don't know that he can deal with guys like Kirkfleet and like freak athletes. I don't see it.
Yeah.
But I guess, for the first time in a while, it's pretty wide open at heavyweight, right? I mean,
yeah.
I get maybe Kirkfleet's the out and out favorite, but he takes losses. It's not like he's impenetrable.
Yeah.
All right, that was CKLV. Oh, let's talk about Penn State Lehigh. Crookham beats Nagao. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like Crookham beats Nagao, and he might not even get the starting job. Like he's ranked number 1 in the country right now. He might. He might not get the. You would think he does.
Yeah.
But there's a chance.
Yeah.
That they save him and shirt him. Like he might not get the starting job.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think they'll give it to him. Mm-hmm. I do. I really do.
Yeah, he's kind of proved himself.
Yeah, it's hard to sit him. But, yeah, they could.
33 this year is an interesting weight class, right? Here's why I say it's interesting. Okay. Let's start looking at the lineup right now. It's Crookham, or the rankings. Crookham, Vito, Arujau, who Crookham beat Arujau already. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Dayton Fix, Aaron Nagao. Now, Crookham has beat 2 out of those top 4, aside from him. Kai Oreen, Sam Latona, Chris Cannon, Michael Kolioko, Evan Frost, Brody Teskey. That is a son of a bitch of a weight class. 33 is a son of a bitch. Wow.
It is.
Here's what's interesting to me. Crookham is a legit big 33-pounder.
Yes.
Okay. Vito and Dayton, I'm going to assume, are going to start shrinking themselves very soon.
Yep.
Because they got to go down to 57K. And I don't know that they can deal with the kid like Crookham, who is a full-size 33. Now, don't get me wrong. I think both Dayton and Vito are probably better at wrestling all around than Ryan Crookham is. But when you have the aspiration and the thought in the back of your head of going 57K, like, son of a bitch, I got to make 57? I got to make 125 pounds in how many weeks? Well, you got to start shrinking yourself. So does that play into a national tournament where Kai Oreen, Aaron Nagao, and Ryan Crookham take out 2 of the best wrestlers in the world?
Do you think there's a lot of separation? I know you just said that they're better technically in all positions. Do you think there's that much separation between them to difference in size?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're asking me?
Yeah. I think, You think they're good enough?
I don't think there's that much separation. I think those other 2 can wrestle really well in all positions. And in that size, man, I do think that's going to come into play come NCAA tournament. When you start shrinking your body like that, you're going to have to lose a little bit of muscle, a little bit of size.
Sure. No doubt about
it. I do think that comes into play in 7-minute matches for sure.
7 minute
I could see
matches.
those guys. Yeah. I could see those guys being right there. They'll come down to a takedown, right?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like you saw Crookham. It wasn't like he was blowing the doors off of Vito.
No.
Right? Like he just thumb block, hand fight circle, catch one when you can, right? but yeah,
What was the score of that match? Was it he got 2 takedowns on him, right?
Yeah, I think he did get
so.
2, but I know one of them was. I know it was close, right? Like Vito was within a takedown for sure.
Yeah.
But going back and thinking about that, I got a lot of results in my head. But there's like Sam Latona, Evan Frost, Brody Teskey's a son of a. Nick Bouzakis is ranked number 12 in the country. He took 3rd at CKLV, lost first round, and wrestled all the way back. That's a tough son
who beat him first round? Sorry, I keep asking you hard questions. I'm wondering
who beat him. And my internet is sucking right now, so like I'm not going to be able to answer them.
Hey, so, I'm typing over here and it's just barely reading my type. Yeah, my computer's slow right now too.
Yeah. So there's like, I think that the top of this weight class is really entertaining, but I just want to see how it pans out. And also, don't kid yourself. Dayton Fick's been in college for the better part of a decade. Like that takes its toll on you. It's so tough.
Miserable.
They keep on propping this poor kid up. Go ahead, make 33 again. Okay, coach. No problem. He's all punchy and shit. Like, feel bad for the kid, man. Let the kid move on. Yeah. Jeez.
Yep.
All right. Duels. Yeah, there's some duels.
I know UNC is wrestling Cal Poly because I know Benji Alanis is wrestling Chad Lamer this weekend. Yeah. So I know they're wrestling. Yeah, but other than that, the only reason I know that is because of Benji, right? So
right. There's some really decent duels, I guess, but I think what we're really looking at is senior nationals. Now, we have seen Nick Soriano versus Spencer Lee. The last time we saw it was in folk style, I believe, was a national championship, I believe, down at 125.
Yeah.
And Spencer won that. I think Spencer is probably a better freestyle wrestler than Nick is. Spencer has wrestled recently, right? So we know he's acclimated to 125 again, no problem. He seemed like he was healthy when he was at the Farrell.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
50. When was the last time Soriano made weight? He looks a little big right now.
He's big. He's not small for 57K, but there's no one is more disciplined than that kid. Like he is robotic with that kind of stuff. So it's like, I don't know that 57, whether it be 57, 61, I don't think that any of that stuff is ever a problem. Like the kid's kind of a machine when it comes to that stuff. I don't know. When it comes down to it, my brain goes to Spencer because of his ability to turn people. Like his leg lace is world class. His gut wrench is world class. Now, I don't know that they're going. I'm not saying that if he gets behind Nick Soriano, he's going to tech him. That's not what I'm saying. But having the threat of those 2 turns on top, they play into your takedown defense a lot too, right? Like if I know you got a great lace and I'm fighting a wizard or whatever, I might turn down on a takedown because I'm afraid of your lace. Like if I know you got a lights out lace and Spencer's got a lights out lace, it changes the dynamic of a match quite a bit. Agreed?
Yeah, you're gonna look at your defensive transitions a lot differently with each guy, right? Especially with someone like Spencer Lee. He has the head in the hole one. He has a good gut.
His gut's good.
He has like 2 or 3 really good turns, right?
Right. That's more than most people in this country. Like that's way more.
Absolutely true. Yeah. So yeah, you got to wrestle him differently if you're getting taken down and scored on. But Suriano's so hard to score on. He's so hard to get to.
Yeah,
If you can get to him,
his head hands
yep.
is world class. His foot motion is world class. Yeah. The one thing that I love that he does that keeps everyone off balance, and it doesn't get talked about enough. He does what I call like micro level changes, like these little tiny, and he makes you like just a little flinch, and it's just hard to get your hands on him, man. So I think if he can play that game and play the positional butt to the center game, he 100% could win this, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you know, it's really interesting to me to see what April is going to look like, you know, and I'll ask you this about it. I love it, but some people are against it. Like, I love that the Olympic team trials are very small brackets. I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I know we haven't really said a whole lot about him, but I think my favorite in this weight is actually Richards.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think. Yeah, he's getting better and better each year, I think. We were just at a senior team camp, and I watched a couple of those guys, and yeah, he's going to be tough to beat. Those guys, those three
Medlin
right there.
has him believing he's the best in the world. Okay,
he might be.
I'm not taking anything away from him. But what I'm saying is, don't let a kid like that get hot. Don't because he made a team last year, and he kind of made it look easy, right? Like, by the way, he beat a three-time medalist. He beat a three-time medalist to make that team. Don't let him get hot. Yeah. Like, Thomas Gilman's real good at wrestling, you know? And he out-wrestled him in a ton of different positions. Arm spin, upper body stuff, right? Like, so he went, like, Thomas went underhook. Okay, I got an answer for that. I got an arm spin. Well, how many guys in our country have an arm spin that they can go to and feel comfortable in the World Team Trial Finals? Not many.
One,
right? Like no, the little Hidley, the older, smaller Hidley.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And Chance has one. But there's three guys in our country. Three, count them. 1, 2, 3. Chance has a arm spin that he has taken down JB with. So, like, So, like, but this is a guy that can wrestle from every position. I 100% agree with you. I remember in 2018, I was overseas with this kid going, look, I know he's not the most talented kid in the world. He's not. He's absolutely not the most talented kid out there. But damn it, he likes this sport. Like, that's a big deal. Like, he loves training. Yeah. Like, he loves it. He loves learning.
Loves it.
He's way into it. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't let a kid like this get hot. Love him.
Yeah.
Love that kid to death. All right. What else we got? Anything else, Larkin, when you're looking at seniors? Seth
I just hate that there's
interesting.
I just hate there's such big gaps between the weight classes. I wish we had more weight classes.
How many do you want?
Well, I mean, just the world championship weights would be nice, at least to be in the Olympics. That'd be nice.
I think
or at least how many is in there for the world championships?
10.
What is there?
10.
Yeah, 8 would be good. What do we have at the Olympics? 6.
I think 8 across the board would be
8 would be good.
Yeah.
What weights would you throw in there? Or would you kind of move some of the weight classes around?
Yeah, I would have to move the weight classes around. I think a grown person that's 125 pounds is weird to me. Like, it's 2023. 125 pound male human probably don't exist very often. So I call that, malnourishment. I think somewhere around 59K is a good starting point. And then 59, 63, 70, 74, 75, something like that. And then 80, 86, 97, 285, or whatever the 125K So
yeah, 120 to the 92 key.
yeah. So I just, for me, man, I think 8 weight. So my brain, and I've talked to Jared about this quite a bit. My brain goes to presentation. The world championships are way too freaking long. Way too long. Way too long. They ask for our attention for the better part of 2 weeks, and I just can't give it to them. I can't, like, I can even NCAAs, bro. That's 3 full days you're asking for my undivided attention. Now I'm going to give it to you because I'm a dork, and I will watch every match, and I will probably screen record them. Sorry, ESPN. But you're asking me to pay attention to Greco, women's, and freestyle for 11 days? Nah, sorry.
That's long.
It's a long time,
Even
bro. That's what I'm saying. You can't, dude. I just don't got it to give. So 3 days, I'll give it to you, but we can knock it out in 2. We can have freestyle have its own world championships, women's have their own world championships, and Greco have their own world championships, and we can space those out. And
they haven't done that before, right?
No, because everyone wants to be equal.
That move. I
think so. And then 8 weight classes, 4 on one day, 4 on the next. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do I know? I'm again, like we talked about, like putting together dual mates, and Jared and I were talking about the All-Star meet, and like why we had 6 versus 7. What that defeats purpose. That's not what we're talking about. Like, why do we have to have every weight class filled? We don't.
Yeah.
There's no rules. Like, we can kind of make the rules. We've talked about you and I putting together dual meets. And you're like, well, what about this way? Because I'm like, no. No, we don't want it. Like, just give me 5 matches. That's it. That's like, and we're putting together a show. And if we're going to put together a show, we have to think about the attention span of the viewer.
Yeah. So the presentation, right? Yeah. And even me sitting through 10 matches, that's hard to do. Right. Like you're saying, 10's a lot.
10's a lot. It's not, it's
5's good. 5's good. 5
is right. 5, 6. Give me 6. 6 is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Leave you one more, right? So each one of them is at a college level is at least 10 minutes, right? So each bout takes about 10 minutes. 8 minutes for a high school bout makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. We are respective of our viewers' time, which right now our sport does not take into consideration. It does not, bro. I got home from a tournament last weekend at 1 a.m. I got home at 1 a.m. I didn't walk in my door until 12:47 or something like that.
Was that a high school tournament?
Yep. High school tournament. Yep.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
Wow.
Do better. Do better. Like, we need to stop this nonsense. Like, who are we ever going to get to watch our sport? If we we left at 4 a.m. We left our school at 4 a.m. and I'm chugging espresso on the way home. I can tell you that. Chugging espresso on the way home. Anyway, speaking of which, we are at 48 minutes, so we're going to be respective of everyone's time and say thank you very much. See what I did there? That's a nice little segue, wasn't it?
That was good.
We are going to be respectful of everyone's time and say thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sure Jared will be back next week. If not, Larkin, I'd love for you to jump on again. But thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it, brother.
All right. Thank you for having me.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
Sure.
Later.